Okay, before the video starts, I have a little editing portion of this video. It's a game called Frank Bird's Pizza that was supposed to be made after the whole Return to Freddy's saga came out. It was a canceled game where it was going to take place in a freaking strip club for some reason. That's where the stripper animatronics idea came from. I don't know if it was actually a revenge for this breakup with the game developer's breakup with his girlfriend. I think it was just some other situation entirely. But I'll have links to videos explaining this game series better than I am. But that was just to let you know, because I do mess it up earlier in the video. I'm not going to waste any more time. Alright. Dexter Longak here. We're talking about the greatest freaking Five Nights at Freddy's horror game. In my opinion, it was... Well, now... Okay, I'm in a bit of a conflicting mood, because Fazbear's Return overtook this game for like a couple of days. And it still is one of my tops. Like, it was going to be my top one. But now, after revisiting this game, I now have like two number one spots. Because let me explain real quick. So this series was originally a really cheap copy. So how do I say this? It was created by a guy, the developer. He's not like a complete jerk. Like, he's not Dormitibus creator type jerk. But is not like super righteous, like, I don't know. Like, I guess the creator of Fazbear's Return. I as far as the stories I've heard, like, there's not much bad, like, things have been talked about for the Fazbear's Return creator. So I'm trying to scale it with, you know, the moral decency with these creators. I don't know what to say, but all I can say is that this guy is he's kind of crazy, but he's not lol cow Daniel Larson type vibes. He's still a normal human being, because like he's been gone for a while. Okay, but besides that, what I'm trying to say is the reason this fits into the story was because the first fan-made game was a Five Nights at Freddy's 3 like a fake out. Where people thought, oh, this should be Five Nights at Freddy's 3, right? Nope, it wasn't Five Nights at Freddy's 3. It was a bad copy paste all the game assets, Photoshop this, Photoshop that, steal a model from an upcoming game, Five Nights at Candy the cat, who's now called, Sugar the Cat? So yeah, it was all just a whole big misunderstanding, and Scott Cawthorn was not really pleased with it, so he told the creator to take down the game, and then the creator did, but then he I don't know if he remade it, but brought it back, but called it The Return to Freddy's. And from that point on, the series, that becomes one of my deepest fascinations ever in life. And from 1 to 4, it was just a quote-unquote constant improvement, where each game, the developer gets better at like just trying to make the game, but I've still heard, like, oh, there's still some copy-paste assets from, like, the first 3 games. And it's, like, copy-paste that, yada, yada, yada. Blah, 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 blah. The modeling gets better. Like, in the Return to Freddy's 2, it's the worst. But I still find it, like, even at its worst, I find this very charming. But it does, like, get better over time. Like, in the 3rd game, we get introduced to some more iconic characters like Lockjaw and freaking... Who else? Vigo the Snake. And then earlier on, we got introduced to another Lockjaw was a self-insert from the developer, which is a lot more calmer than Dormitibus, because if you know about Dormitibus, then Hoochie... And it's self-insert Hoochie Lord. You know, but... The other self-insert was, I think, the creator's girlfriend at the time. And then earlier, when he broke up with his girlfriend, he tried to do, like, a revenge animatronic. Like, it's sort of like a revenge corn. But it was like he made a stripper animatronic from a canceled game that happened after this whole Return to Freddy's debacle was gone. Yeah, that kind of explains why the creator never came back. But besides that, we got Vigo the Snake, so it's all good. Vigo the Snake is cool. But with all that being said, we go into the fourth game, and that's like the official like the best out of the series. Return to Freddy's 4 has well, according to some very notable source, a random YouTube video I saw of this Return to Freddy's retrospective, it says that this is the best game in the franchise. And I believe so. You know, my 30 seconds of playing this game, I've got to say that it is pretty good and not crazy and not crashing or whatever. And after that, it just goes on the canceled territories, which is the most interesting part to me. Because the Return of Freddy's was going to have like a remastered, reborn type of situation. But to me, it ended up having like my favorite and most interesting. It has the most interesting aspect of like any fan game ever. Whereas the canceled Return to Freddy's 5 demos, gameplays, qualities, fan recreations, really good ones most likely, and you know, right basically before they started trying to Return to Freddy's with more other people making the game, trying to make it a better quality, but before all that, when we're talking about Return to Freddy's 5, I still find this very interesting. The story is very interesting. I thought there was time travel, like when I was a kid, but I'm probably just tripping, but it's just like a regular story where you go through like multiple levels and you play through multiple levels. Yeah, and I gotta say the designs in Return to Freddy's 5 are one of my favorite like animatronic designs ever in any fan game ever. That's something that's probably not going to change at all in the future. I really dig him, and the tortured animatronic names is pretty hilarious too. But I like it. And you seen Vigo the Snake as a tortured animatronic? Got robust, big head, got some dentures. It's crazy, pretty cool though. And what else I could say? There's a lot of cool cutscenes, trailers for these fan games. They're hilarious, but awesome and cool to look at the same time. I mean, what else could I really say? I think the last, like, probably the most finished thing made through the Return of Freddy's was a book you could download it and read, and the book is hilarious. And there's one thing I forgot to mention, but in the book we got some. I don't want to spoil it, but I might have to also link some other YouTubers who talk about this game way better than me and talk about the Return of Freddy series in general, and they'll talk about the book. But one funny bits I can tell you right now that are in the book is I think what can I tell you? In Sea Shift at Austin's, there was a World War II veteran who was able to still be a serial killer up into like he's like 100. In this book, what else? What could I tell you? There's a character named Gron who's awesome, and there is also a plot dealing with super cancer. Yeah, I don't know. That's like the most notable thing. What else could there be? I think there's something with a lot of conspiracies in FNAF. What else? I think a lot of kids die in that. The funniest bit of lore is in the Return of Freddy's 4. There's literally a cutscene by the end of the game. Spoilers. Forgot to mention that. But the main killer, Gron, literally dies in a spring lockjaw suit by slipping on a bar of soap. Like I say, it's absolute cinema, lads. It's beautiful. It's perfect. There's nothing else that can be said about it. It's perfect. I don't want to spoil any more interesting aspects, little details. I say if you're interested in playing this game, I'll link all the archives down below. There should be a bunch of them. It's a lot of interesting archives. And if you're on an Android phone, I can also give you some of the Android archives. I'm not going to forget that. But as far as I'm concerned, that's about it. I might make Yeah, that's about it. That's the end of these appreciation posters for FNAF fan games. I covered all of them, and I covered the best ones. I think I'll be making a top 10 list soon. It's gonna be very these videos can explain why I like him, so it's gonna be an easy top 10 list. It might be after this one because I'm just getting bored and stuff. I don't know, but yeah, that's about it.